Voices rise with the engine fire. Every replay, every stand-up fight, nothing together on race night. Every night that the legends lead, every underdog, every winning streak. From hometown heroes to the final line, we hold on till the end of the fight. When the string goes down, the echoes remain. Another chapter written in speed and fame. If you live for the more than the racing truth, learn to hold, grip that word. That's you. Sign of faith, but the passion stays. Another race in the broadcast haze till the lights go green and the mics ignite. Learn to hold, grip that word. Grips the night.
Good night, good evening, good afternoon, good day, or indeed good morning, wherever and whenever you happen to be joining us for this one. This is Five Flags Speedway, and we are here in the super late models in the Bushtalk Radio series with BRL. Joined tonight by Papa Kenny Allen in the booth, and we got Ryan Seneca sitting there doing all the producer bits and pieces. Kenny, how do you see this one playing out tonight? I feel like this particular car and track combo is almost like a match made in heaven. When you think of super late model racing, you will invariably think of Five Flags Speedway. How do you see it?
At the risk of upsetting or not upsetting our Michigan and Wisconsin viewers, when I start thinking super late models, I think Five Flags Speedway. This place is one of the fastest half-mile short tracks out there. With its 15-degree banking, wide sweeping turns, it almost feels circular, but the speed you carry off the corners here makes the straightaways very narrow. The drivers that race well here, they'll carry maximum momentum through the middle of the corners, and you need to be smooth with that throttle. You'll see a lot of running a wider arc here than you normally would at a short track. And staying out of the loose stuff and keeping the car rotated with less input in the steering wheel is key around this track. Grip is usually better on the high side 1 and 2 as the run goes on, and 3 and 4, that white line and patience is your best friend. Let the banking do the work for you. Expect turn 1 to be a great passing zone. It's heavy braking, it's a wide entry, and these super late models, they are fast, but they're twitchy, and they'll bite you at any minute. It's going to be intense, and I wouldn't expect anything less from these Bushtalk Radio super late models. And it'll be a technical masterclass in short track racing by these bootleg racing drivers.
And speaking of Bushtalk Radio, of course, they are our series sponsor. We're absolutely stoked to have those guys on board for this season. And Bushtalk Radio, in case you're not aware, they do audio tours and location discovery for Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane. And there is a lot of transfer, a lot of guys who are into sim racing, also into their flight simulators, and you can transform Microsoft Flight Simulator and X-Plane into an immersive world exploration experience with 25,000 locations, automated audio tours, and 10,000 radio stations. You can fly over a landmark, hear its story in your language, scan for hidden discoveries, and compete on leaderboards. Join thousands of pilots discovering the world one landmark at a time, and that is at bushtalkradio.com. Okay, so we are just coming to the end of our practice session right now. We got Steve Hilbert. He's sitting with quick time at the moment, just ahead of John Wilson. So it could be a little bit of a mixed up field tonight. Of course, we don't qualify here in BRL. We don't use qualifying at all. We invert the top 13 from the previous week's results based on who shows up and the like. So we're going to have a look at the grid in just a moment. We've got 1 minute left of the warm up, and yeah, just waiting for that to conclude, and then of course we're going to get on with the racing. So Kenny, you mentioned earlier on about the way in which this track runs. You gave us some really good details about the track. What are you expecting to see in terms of the actual racing itself? This track seems to at least lend itself a little bit more than some of the others with the banking to some too wide racing as well, like that outside line could potentially work.
Yeah, definitely here. You want to be inside to start the race, but as it gets rubbered up and gets hot, especially in turn 1 and 2, you're moving up, you can really carry a lot of momentum the way 1 and 2 sweeps around the corner. 3 and 4, you're still always going to be on the bottom, but it's not a detriment like most tracks to get on the outside line here. You can really defend yourself on the outside.
All right, and that brings us to the end of the warm-up. So we will go through your starting grid momentarily once everybody starts to line up. So we're just waiting for the session to flick over here. And once everyone begins to line up, we'll run through the starting order for you. As we mentioned, where it is the top 13 from last week inverted. So the race winner will start in 13th position, and everybody finishing outside the top 13 will start where they finished in the last race. So if we just start off with the starting grid now, we're going to have Trey Bloom. He is starting on the pole position, and Ryan Rose is going to be starting outside of him on row 1. Row 2, Benny Ellison and your little boy, Luke Logan Allen. Then going back to row 3, we've got Charles Roth and Steve Hilbert. We're looking to see what he's able to produce tonight, given the quick time that he set in the warm-up. Then we've got Brendan Myers and Louis Flowers on row 4, and Ruben Altice and Chris Davis. They're rounding out the top 10. Then going back to row 6, we've got Chris Worrell and Todd Liston, and then Lowell Gill and John Wilson are going to be on row 7. Row 8, Chris Hayslip and Adam Shane. And then row 9 is going to be Tom Hilbert and Kurt Smith. Jeffrey Harden and James Lowe starting all the way back there in 20th after he didn't race last week, so he's starting a little bit further towards the rear. And then we've got Mark Herzog, Jeff Sharp, and the newcomer, Mike Corriveau. Just waiting for the pace car to roll off here. We're going to get a couple of warm-up laps here, and then everybody is going to get underway. Just waiting for everybody to grid up. What are you expecting for the beginning here, Kenny? Do you think that people are going to be, it's a 100-lap race, you have to keep that set of tyres on the entire time? These cars can really wear the tyres quite heavily if you're aggressive with them. What kind of racing do you think we're going to see for the first few laps?
I think you're going to see guys are going to want to get to that bottom, but I know Luke, he's going to want to burn up that outside and try to get to the front as quick as he can. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's bad. But I'm really excited to see guys like James Lowe, Mark Herzog, and our hard luck guy from last Saturday, James Harden or Jeffrey Harden, coming from the back. Should be exciting.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are just behind the pace truck at the moment. They are doubling up. Everyone's going to get set. Everybody at the moment just getting themselves set ready, just making sure that all their switches and all their little bits and pieces they may have are set in the right positions, and they're going to get ready to go. I'd expect some of the guys out there, they're sort of more long-term guys. They're like very circumspect in the way that they race. We've got some really aggressive guys starting a bit further in the pack as well. So let's see the various approaches that they take. I think we're going to see a few guys trying to charge to the front early and then defend. So let's see what actually managed to get here, as we have got the green flag, and really good launch from the top by Ryan Rose there. He is absolutely fired off there. I'm not even sure if he may have even jumped the start, if he's got a penalty or not.
Yeah, we'll have to see that. That was a pretty good jump or trade.
Yeah, it looks as though Ryan Rose got away. We thought he got away really well. He got away a little too well, because he's actually got a black flag there from being ahead of Trey Bloom at the start-finish line. Of course, you can't do that, but yeah, it's just the way that these things sometimes go. You try to time this stuff as best as you can. It's very, very easy to get caught out by that. So unfortunately, Ryan Rose, great start from him, but he is going to have to come down and serve his penalty, and that's going to leave Luke Logan Allen in the lead once that penalty finally gets served. But just having a look through the field at the moment, most of the front runners have single filed out. Everyone's trying to be very sensible, very calm to start this race, as we often do see in BRL. Lots of very, very smart racers in this series. But looking a little bit further back, you know, sort of around about 14th place, there are a few guys still side by side, jostling and trying to get themselves sorted out for the long run. As we see Ryan Rose come down the pit lane, and that leaves Luke Logan Allen to take the point. He is up front at the moment, and he is leading from our pole sitter, Trey Bloom.
I'll tell you what, that jump start was really tough for Ryan, but that was actually a lucky break for Luke because he was able to jump ahead of the Trey there and not take a penalty. So that was a really good break for him to get out front here.
Yeah, the way that iRacing works, obviously, you know, the guy on the outside of the first row can't be in front of the leader when the green flag drops, but there's no such rule about the guy starting outside, starting on the second row or anything like that. So, yeah, Luke able to take the lead. He's sitting there in a fairly handy lead at the moment, must be said, a few car lengths, and we've got the whole front of the field is really sort of single filed out at the moment. As we say, 100 laps to go here. You must keep the same set of tyres on throughout the race. If you burn them up, there is no way to get that back. You know, you need to be smart. You need to manage that over the entire race. And looks like Luke Logan Allen leading the way, and he is almost coming up to lap Ryan Rose now. I think he probably dropped a couple of laps for his penalty, Ryan Rose. That's really unfortunate for him, but if he can stay out there, and he's new to the series, but he is very fast. If he's able to stay out there, get a couple of cautions, he may get a couple of lucky dogs and be able to get back in this one. So it's not over for him just yet.
No, it's not. You know, his only problem with 5 flags, it's really good for putting in them long greed runs here, because everybody just likes to single file and save their tires.
All right, so we're just looking at, we'll take a look at the leader at the moment. It looks as though Trey Bloom, he is closing in just a little bit, but I don't think either of these guys are burning up their stuff. They're not interested in burning up their stuff quite so early. And of course, you know, clean air is such an advantage as well. So we've got Allen, he is there out the front at the moment. He can put his car exactly where he wants to put it. He has got clean air all over the nose. So he has got the best of the downforce, the best of the aero, and everybody else who's back there in the line is doing their very best to make do.
I think Trey's in a good spot here too. You know, a half second off of Luke. You know, he's got clean air as well, and he's got a good distance between him and Benny. So, you know, perfect spot for both of them to be in clean air and stretch away from the field. But you see, you know, Benny is slowly closing back in on him. But as this battle heats up,
yeah, just taking a look around about the back end of the top 10 at the moment, we can see Chris Worrell and James Lowe just sort of sitting there underneath Ruben Altice at the moment. They are trying to make their way forward. They obviously both started a fair way back in the pack. Lowe all the way down in 20th position he started. So these guys are trying to make their way forward. I don't think Altice is going to fight this too hard. He's just sitting there on the outside at the moment. He's going to try and slot in behind Adam Shane, who's done a great job of following those two aforementioned guys through as well. So they single file back out. Altice, again, very much a long game driver. He's not going to be too concerned about losing spots this early. It's not about where you start, where you run, it's where you finish. So taking a look a little bit further back in the pack at the moment, we can see, I'm just trying to see who that is. It looks like Jeff Sharp. Yeah, Jeff Sharp, and it is the 97 of Mike Corovo. He's a debutant in this series. I don't think we've actually seen him before. Brand new to this series, and he's running there in 20th position at the moment, just finding his feet, and we're going to see what he's able to do as the race progresses.
Steve Hilbert moving up, Lewis Flowers following him right on through. And you see the different lines here. You know, you got one car high, Lewis down on the line, Steve's running up just about a lane. I mean, that's what's great about 5 flags. You know, you can get multiple lane racing here.
And speaking of multiple lane racing, we've got Kurt Smith looking underneath Ruben Altice at the moment. So it looks as though Altice definitely playing the long game. He's not fighting any battles at the moment. He's being overtaken. He's dropping down the field, but do not confuse that with a lack of pace with Ruben Altice. He is a race winner. We know how fast that guy is. So he is obviously just looking after his stuff, playing the long game. He knows there's likely to be some cautions in this race as well. He's saving his stuff for the end. He is not really fighting anyone, just riding around on that top lane, not being too aggressive and looking after his car. And just taking a look further back up front, it looks as though Bloom is starting to close on Allen. It's very much a battle for the lead at the moment. Bloom is he looks to be running a bit of a lower line than Alan is, although Alan definitely cutting down on that particular turn. But just watching that, they're just exiting the corner slightly differently, and you can see Luke, he is just staying to the top lane there through 1 and 2, but potentially dropping down a little bit through 3 and 4. We'll see what line he takes here. Yeah, definitely running lower through 3 and 4, whereas Trey Bloom, he is running the bottom the entire way around the track, and he's starting just to close up a little bit on Alan. So could possibly see a battle see a overtake, or at least an attempt at an overtake for the lead as this progresses, because Bloom is closing in.
And Lewis Flowers moving up underneath Steve Hilbert there. Lewis,
both of those guys have a really good run.
He really closes into the race. Lewis is always one you got to keep an eye on. And Mark Herzog moving up. Our points leader, Chris Borle, not looking too fast right now, but, he might just be as well doing the same thing as Ruben, saving his tires. He may have a lap time in mind that he needs to run for this entire race, and he's going to stick to it.
Yeah, we've seen Worrell do that a few times, actually. He sort of paces himself very early in the race. I think he potentially banks on there being a caution as well. So, I've been in races with him and watched races with him in where he'll take it very, very easy for the first half of the race or something, just look after his stuff, and then comes charging through at the end. Doesn't always do that, but it's a strategy that he often implements. And given the fact that this is quite a high-speed track and therefore quite a high tyre wear track, wouldn't actually surprise me if he's managing at the moment and trying to look big picture, which is the way that obviously you get to the front at the end. So, he's won a couple of races. He is the points leader in this particular series as well. So, he's got a points lead to protect. He just needs to be smart, and that's what I think he's trying to do at the moment.
Exactly. Oh, there we go.
Oh, big blink out there from Brendan Myers.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, Flowers just underneath Myers there. Flowers moving forward. He's been really, really fast since joining the series as well. He hasn't been around a hugely long amount of time, but he's really making an impression very, very quick. And I think it's only, it's a big moment there as these two are definitely fighting. Myers goes to have a look underneath Flowers and, just pulls out of that at the last moment. It looks like Flowers has got that move done. And I think he's going to try his very best to sort of close on that top 3 now. Haven't seen Bloom making any further inroads on the lead of Luke, Logan, Allen, but I would imagine that with Flowers sitting there in 4th position, closing on Ellison's going to get the hurry up. He's going to start putting pressure on the guys in front of him, and I imagine that Myers is going to try and come along for the ride with Flowers as well. So you could see a 5-way battle for the lead fairly soon.
Yeah. And a big shout out to Benny here, having a really good run early, especially after
He's
last
actually
week.
had some really good runs today, hasn't he?
Yeah. I mean, a great rebound. And it's always good to see new guys up front.
Yeah, absolutely. It's great when you guys are able to come into the series and run really well. Looks as though, unfortunately, Ryan Rose has decided not to stick it out. He has called it. He's taken that car back behind the wall, so he is done for the night. Really unfortunate what happened to him there at the beginning, but iRacing rules are what they are. As we have a look back through the field, we got, I think that is Hayslip side by side with Sharp. They're battling over the back end of the top 20. Battle for the lead starting to heat up. Luke Logan Allen, he is looking in his mirrors. He can almost see the whites of Trey Bloom's eyes as he is getting closer and closer and closer, incrementally closer every single lap. We saw a little bit of an attack earlier on. Bloom wasn't able to quite make it happen, but now they're getting some big pressure from behind. You see how much closer Flowers has gotten to the back of Ellison. Ellison is going to see that white number 40 growing bigger and bigger and bigger in his mirrors. He's going to want to get moving. He's going to want to close right up to the back of the top 2 and see if he can make an impression, see if he can do some passing before he gets past himself. And Bloom now starting to look all over the back of Luke Logan Allen. How long do you think this lead is going to last? Can Luke hold them off?
I don't know. I like Luke. He's probably comfortable running that high line, but if I was him, I'd like to get down in front of Trey and dirty his air up, make him use his front tires more than he wants to use them right now. And hope that'll wear him out a little bit later in the run.
is very much a battle, a four-way battle for the lead at the moment. Battle has well and truly been joined amongst the top four there. Myers just keeping a watching brief a few car lengths back, but Ellison has got Flowers all over him like a cheap suit at the minute. And you see Flowers, he's just hanging out a little bit higher, cutting down on the exit, trying to generate that run, give himself anything that's going to give him some overlap on the 45 there to move into third place. He's got plenty of pace, but how long can he keep this up? Ellison runs a little bit wide. He ran a little bit high coming out of that turn just there, and Flowers is absolutely eating into that gap. And we got a caution. We got a caution on
and
the
a
big at
heavy.
the moment. Oh, it is a big mess. Adam Shane involved, Hardin involved, a whole bunch of guys involved.
And that's
Just
tough
trying
for Jeff there.
Just trying to dissect that.
And that's tough there. You know, Chris is probably on the throttle. Maybe Adam got a little loose there and couldn't get on as fast and needs to get into him. You know, it's always tough on corner exit because you've already committed going back to the throttle and the car in front of you doesn't quite get going and you just get into the back of them.
Yeah, look, that's unfortunate, but it does bring us under caution for the first time in this one. Adam Shane has decided that his night is done. He's not going to be able to take any further part in this. Obviously, too much damage on that car, which is very unfortunate for him. It's always good to see what he's able to do later in the races, but yeah, he's not able to continue this time. So we are here under caution at the moment. Luke Logan Allen, he has led since basically since Ryan Rose got his penalty. He got a really good start, and he has managed to hold the lead all the way through. Trey Bloom, Benny Ellison, Louis Flowers looking the most likely to challenge him at the moment. Just looking down through the field, we've seen James Lowe. We talked about him earlier on, starting all the way back there in 20th position. He's all the way up to 7th place now, so he's methodically moving his way forward. We saw him running with Chris Worrell. Worrell has fallen down a couple of spots behind Lowe. He was in front of him earlier on, so he's running in 10th position at the moment. Charles Roth as well. He's one of the newer guys to the series, and he's sitting there. He started 5th. He's running 8th at the moment. So really good, solid run for him to start out his BRL career as well. So that's great to see.
Yeah, Mark Herzog, he's up 10 spots. You know, he's going to keep moving forward.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise you with Herzog. Anything he sits in, he's fast. So, yeah, the fact that he's making positions and making moves forward does not surprise absolutely anyone. But it looks as though we're doubling up. Looks as though we are just getting ready for one to go. The lights on the pace truck are out. We're about to get this one back underway again. The field is going to be under the control of Luke Logan Allen, the little boy of my co-commentator here today. So we're going to see what he can do, where he goes, when he gets the jump. And we are green flag, and he is away. Really great start, but a big stack up behind. Someone's gone around there. Was that James Lowe's gone around? Yeah, it looks as though James Lowe got punted there. Just on the restart, looks as though there was a bit of a slight check. It was a bit of an awkward restart. Allen's got away really well, but I think that may have begun when Ellison got a bit of wheel spin off the start there, and he got a bit of a nudge from behind from Myers, and that sort of has checked the entire field up, and that's a bit of a mess.
That's something. That accordion effect happens so fast there. You know, nothing Todd can do. You're going, you can't see what's happening in front of James, and all of a sudden James has no momentum. You just wind up jacking the car up in front of you.
And so we talked about James Lowe earlier on. He started in 20th position. Now he's all the way back to 19th. After making a really good run there. So he's going to have to pick himself up, dust himself off, and try and make his way back forward again. I'm sure he will. He's got a little bit of rear end damage on that 99, but I think he will probably be okay. The nose looks all right, so I'm sure he will be able to make some inroads. I don't expect him to stay down there in 19th. The damage does not look that bad. We've got one car getting the lucky dog. That is the boss man, Lol Jewell, in the number 2. He is coming around the outside of the field right now. He will take his lap back. It looks like he almost grabbed a piece of the wall there as he got around the top, but he's managed to get that done, so he will rejoin the back of the pack, and we're going to re-rack him and start again. Luke Logan Allen is going to be leading the way. It is pretty much as you were at the front, and hopefully we can get away well this time. Of course, with the amount of power that these super late model cars have, once you get some wear on the tyres, very, very easy to get a bit of wheel spin, so it's going to take a bit of technique, a little bit of judgment to get away cleanly.
Yeah, that inside line here, 5 flags, especially in these super late models, it's very easy to spin the tires. Preferably, I prefer start and restart on the outside here at 5 flags.
Well, I believe you actually have lane choice as the leader. It looks as though Luke has decided to take the bottom, but I believe you can take the top if you want to. Yeah, he's decided to line up in the traditional way. He's going to take the inside front row. Trey Bloom's going to be on his outside. We're going to see what he's able to do from there. He didn't get away brilliantly on that last restart, but now he's got another shot at it. So we'll be able to see what he's able to do from there. And I think Louis Flowers will fancy his chances of getting into P2 from where he's starting inside row 2. Once the pace car is going to duck off, there is the green flag. Luke Logan Allen away to a great start again. Flowers is going to get underneath Trey Bloom. We'll see how hard they fight that as the rest of the field looks as though it's 2 by 2 by 2 by 2 the entire way along. Davis making some good moves around the outside. Lister making some good moves around the outside. Myers, he's stuck on the outside as well. Hilbert, he's in there. Steve Hilbert running there in the top 5. Great night from him. But it's Luke Logan Allen still leading away. And as we predicted, Louis Flowers... Oh, another one. Another big wreck.
Oh, I have to see that.
Looks lot of cars in that. Benny Ellison. Oh, no.
Yeah, he was having a great run tonight.
What's happened there? It looks like he's slowed up into the turn and Myers has just drilled him from behind. Not much he could do about that.
It looked like Benny may have been getting in on the outside there, and
potentially.
He's off throttle and Brandon's still driving in, and it happens so fast. It is so fast here at Five Flags. Things happen so fast. You talk about how things like this happen at Bristol. What happens here is just the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And Brendan Myers, very experienced driver. He's not the type of guy to make basic errors like that. So I'd say there's potentially a little bit unexpected movement there, which can always happen on the starts, especially when people are kind of trying to judge how much grip they've got. Everyone's got a different idea of how they're going to enter the corner and so on. And when it's so tight packed, the way that it is right now, the way that it is off a restart, that kind of thing can happen. But yeah, really unfortunate for Ben. Really unfortunate for everybody involved in that one. But yeah, hopefully these guys, they haven't picked up too much damage and they're going to be able to get going again. Of course, the one guy who's happy for the rest of this race to run out of caution will be Luke Logan Allen out there in front. If he just keeps having to do like quick restarts and never lose the lead, everything's going to work out great for him. But I think the rest of the guys, they want to get a nice green flag run going. We are sitting there. We are over half distance at the moment as well. So we're on lap 54 at the moment. So we've just gone over half distance. 100 lap race this one, of course. And we've got Chris Davis there on the pit lane. It looks as though he might be getting a few repairs done. Is he going to... Yeah, it looks like he just might be getting a little bit of damage fixed up. Yeah. That's one nice thing about Five Flags. You can actually have time to come down pit road and get a few repairs done. Most short tracks, you just don't have it when the field's strung out. Okay, so we're doubling up again. The pace truck leading them around for about another half a lap, and then it's going to duck onto pit road. Looks as though Davis has got the damage repaired that he can get, and he's back out on track. And it looks as though Luke Logan Allen, he's going to be leading us to green flag again. He's got the very fast Lewis Flowers starting there on his outside. I think this is going to be pretty much the first go that Flowers has had being able to start from outside that front row. Hardest place to start. Hardest place to do a restart there. But we are under green right now. Luke Logan Allen dumps that throttle and he manages to clear Flowers on the outside. Flowers is going to slot down into P2, and now Bloom is leading that snarling chasing pack in front of Steve Hilbert.
Yeah, good run for Steve here. He's still up here. He's still battling for a top 5 spot. That's awesome for him. And same Charles Roth, the newcomer, up here as well. And of course, our point there, Chris Worrell is now. Oh, no caution here.
Oh, we got two more around Ellison and Davis.
We hope Benny can get cleared here before the leaders get back around. Oh, it's a terrible spot to get caught, but he's clear away.
Yeah, that's such a shame for him. He was having such a good run, Benny Ellison. But unfortunately, it has all come unstuck for him. We're just having a quick look at the replay here. What's actually happened? He looked... Was he slowing down to go? He was trying to pit. He was trying to pit, and Davis has just got the back of him. Just there is a... Apologies, I'm just getting myself a little bit crossed up here looking at all the various things that are going on. But yeah, the battle for the lead is still definitely on. Luke Logan Allen still leading this one ahead of Flowers. Bloom, Roth sitting there in 4th place. He's doing a great job. Todd Liston, we barely talked about him tonight. He's up there in top 5 now, just ahead of our points leader, Chris Worrell. And Steve Hilbert, he just had to start on the outside there, and he got trapped on the outside, and he's dropped back to P7. James Lowe, he's been from the back all the way back up, and now back to the back, and now he's all the way back up to P8 as well. So he's starting to make some inroads as well. He's obviously decided second half of the race, it is lap 61 now. It is time for him to start making some moves. There is like a little bit of damage on the back end of that car, but he is doing A-OK, thank you very much, moving his way through the field. Oh, big touch between Hayslip and Sharp. Just looking a little bit further back there in the pack, there was a little bit of a moment there. Those two running side by side, nothing intentional, of course. But yeah, those guys will get that sorted out. Looked as though we might be on for another caution there, but they managed to get it gathered up and continue to go. As we see Chris Davis, he is exiting the pits. But unfortunately, he is 3 laps down right now. And it looks as though Trey Bloom has decided now is the time to show what he's got come to play with. And he's starting to put some pressure on Flowers as Luke Logan Allen just rolling away out there in front. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that clean air for Luke is a real help. And I'm really impressed here with James. You know, he might have used a lot of tire making this run through the field once. Now he's got to come back on old tires and do it again. You know, you wonder just how much tire do you have to make these runs from front to back.
I reckon you could put him on bare rims and he'd still be up around about where he is right now. I don't think it doesn't seem to ever make too much of a difference to him, does it? So, yeah, very, very regular viewers of BRL will know how dominant he's been. As we got side by side for the lead at the moment, Luke Logan Allen sticking to that high line through turn 1 and 2. Flowers has seen Bloom coming. He's decided it's time to go. He's getting underneath Allen. They are going to sit side by side. What does Sue call it? Bathtub. So it's the Alice bathtub.
The Alice bathtub.
Side by side. But yeah, it looks as though Flowers just nosing ahead at the moment, but they're side by side.
And this is what's so great with Five Flags, these two wide battles like this.
So Flowers has managed to take that lead. Allen, he is still he's still very keen on running that high line through 1 and 2. There's obviously something about that he feels is working for him. Cutting down a little bit more through 3 and 4, but he's getting some very close attention from Trey Bloom now, and they're both exiting the corner a little bit differently. I think Flowers' exit onto the straightaways seems a lot smoother. There seems to be a lot more wheel in it when Luke's sort of coming off the turn. He's just sort of getting out to that wall a little bit sooner, not quite as straight off the corner, which might be affecting him negatively. Might have used a little bit more tyre. As we see Bloom, he's just sticking the nose down, and like you said earlier, Kenny, I'm sort of surprised that Luke isn't sort of covering that bottom a little bit more.
Yeah, he just must not feel comfortable on the bottom. But you know, there is a lot of grip down there if you can get right on the white line.
Either way, he's the one in the car. He's the one with the steering wheel in his hand, so that's what he has decided to do. And at the moment, it's working for him. He's sitting out there in second position. A little bit of a gap building between him and Flowers. Flowers sort of streaking away in the lead at the moment. And Allen looks as though he might be just a little bit of a cork in the bottle at the moment. He's got Bloom, Roth, Worrell, Liston all up behind him, and of course that man again in the 99, James Lowe, just sitting on the... Oh, Allen really sideways there. Did a great job there to actually gather it up without hitting the wall. Everyone sort of behind him checked up a little bit. I thought for sure he was going in the fence there. He might have just wiped a little bit of that paint off the rear corner of that car. But yeah, really big slide for him, but he's gathered it up really well.
Yeah, and give call to Trey there for getting out of the throttle and letting Luke gather that back up and not cause a bigger incident.
Yeah, it's unfortunate from Roth. He was running right up there in P4, and of course there was that bit of a check up, and he's wound up on the top side, and now he's sort of like cycled to almost the back of that lead group. And who else is joining the back of that lead group? We talked about him earlier on. We talked about him, the quiet man, Ruben Altice. He was just sitting there conceding those spots, saving his staff, not running too hard, and now he has joined the back of that pack that's all sitting there, absolutely applying the blowtorch to the rear bumper of Luke Logan Allen as Flowers streaks ahead 1 second to the good at the moment out in front.
Loose.
Just having a look there at the battle for 14th place. Hayslip all over the back of Wilson at the moment. We've seen Hayslip, he's running pretty well. He's running pretty solid. Wilson there as well, just running there together, sort of at the back end, mid-pack, I should say, not the back end of the field. As looks as though Bloom has got underneath. He's got underneath Luke Logan Allen, and they're going to run side by side down the back stretch. Bloom throwing it in down the bottom. He's got Worrell right there as well, waiting to follow him through. Is he going to get this move done?
And this is so tough on corner exits. You got to throttle up, and the car at this point is just getting so loose under throttle when you're on corner exit.
It's so hard to do. So hard to do when you're having to tighten that radius of the corner up and still get on the power. And that's why you're able to see guys sitting on that higher line, and they're able to really carry that momentum onto the straight, where it's so much harder when you're tucked in underneath the car on the outside. You're seeing Worrell having to deal with that very issue right now. But Luke Logan Allen, unfortunately, he's sort of been sitting there on that higher line, especially through 1 and 2, and he's going to have to stick that out now, because is he going to be able to slot in behind Worrell? There's certainly space for him to do so. It looks as though he's done it, but he's got Liston and Lowe. They are side by side behind. Roth mounting a little bit of a comeback. Altice, another big slide. Big slide. Luke Logan Allen in that 31, nearly wiping the 31 off the door of that thing onto the straight.
Yeah, I was telling you got to be smooth with the inputs here. I think Luke's got a little bit of Rusty Wallace in him. It's either on or off. No middle ground in that throttle. So. When he gets down to the bottom, he throttles up hard, and it just lights the rear tires up and gets him really loose, kills his momentum.
And now he's got that man in the 99 behind him, James Lowe, as well. So, things just go from bad to worse. Not that running in P4 or, looking at his top 5 is particularly bad, but, he's led so much of this race, and now he's coming under pressure from all of these guys who potentially got a little bit more tyre life. But I tell you what, Lewis Flowers, he is out there. He's at 1.7 second out in the lead at the moment, which for short track racing is an eternity. Right, that is a big lead as we see Lowe getting underneath Allen now. So they're going to run side by side out of the turn. But I would expect Lowe to make that position, and that is exactly what he has done. Allen slotting in now behind James Lowe, and he's going to continue his charge to the front all the way back up to 5th after having to climb through the field twice and getting involved in a wreck. He's sitting up there running in the 4th position right now. But, this race, 86 laps out of 100. There's not that long to go. I never want to doubt James Lowe, but at the same time, I almost feel as though it's going to be a little bit, without a caution, it's going to be a little bit late for him to close that gap up to Flowers and get there. And of course, he's got some very, very fast cars he has to get past. He's got to get past Trey Bloom. He's got to get past Chris Worrell, his teammate, to try and get up there as well. So I almost feel as though this might be a little bit too much of a tall order for him to get there.
Yeah, I think at this point for you, James, you just got to get what you can get, not worry about going after that win right now. But, I think back to the first third of this race, we were talking about Chris and Ruben, were falling back, and here they are both racing into the top 5. Just sticking to their, they had their plan and stuck to it, and here it is paying off.
It's almost like they've done this before or something.
Exactly. I tell you what, when I came into this league, you kind of think, tire save is not that big of a deal, but the veterans here, boy, they can humble you at the end of a race here.
They can absolutely humble you very, very, very quickly. I can tell you that much from experience. But Lewis Flowers, he's running there out the front at the moment. His lead is out to 2.1 seconds. He is flying out there at the moment. His last lap, a 17.1. Trey Bloom's last lap, 17.2. That gap is just extending out the front all the time, and we haven't got that long to go. We are inside 10 to go at the moment. So if this thing stays green, you've got to say Lewis Flowers looking really, really good.
And this is impressive for Lewis. He started 7th. Trey started on the front row, and Lewis had to use a little bit more tire to get to the front, and he's just driving away. This is impressive.
I think that the main battle now, Lewis is so far out in front, the main battle is going to be between Bloom, Worrell and Lowe, and that is the order they are running at the moment, 2nd, 3rd and 4th. We've got a little bit of side-by-side as Ruben Altice tries to be the next guy to get underneath Luke Logan Allen. He's just poking his nose in down there, but I'm interested to see whether or not anything can happen with that final podium spot as well.
Yeah, you see Luke still getting loose there. I think Luke's best bet is to get it. Just back her down and bring it home safe at this point. So I kind of feel that Todd's kind of given up a little bit. Charles, I think everybody behind him's kind of in the same boat now with tires.
Yeah, all except for the guys, of course, who did such an awesome job saving. I have to say, there's not an awful amount between Bloom, Worrell and Lowe. There doesn't seem to be enough of a pace difference there that we're going to see too much in the way of movement. We've only got a handful of laps to go. Lewis Flowers, he's out to 2.5 seconds now, almost to the point of catching up to the back of the Canadian Goose, John Wilson, to put him 1 lap down. It's been great for Flowers. He has run near the front or at the front absolutely all night, and he's coming around to what we think pinning a caution or anything like that. I don't want to jinx him, but everything looking good for him at the moment. But the battle for second is really starting to hot up. James Lowe really closing in on the back of his teammate and good buddy Chris Worrell, and we'll see if they're friendly after the race, if James Lowe's actually able to nick that final podium spot off of Worrell. He's certainly looking, but he's running out of time to get it done.
Yeah, they're running out of time here, and the tires don't have a lot left. You got what you got here. It's not a whole lot. So trying to press more just makes it worse. You just got to keep hitting your marks, try to stay as smooth as you can, and hope it's enough pace to catch. And if you're Lewis here, you just want to see that white flag right now. Just give me white.
There it is. The white flag is out. No, he's not surrendering. He is signaling 1 more lap to go. Only a handful of seconds between Lewis Flowers and what I believe to be his first win in this series.
I believe
and so. He crosses the line. Lewis Flowers, absolutely brilliant. 2.5 seconds to the good. He is going to cross the line as your winner, and we're all staying the same behind. So Trey Bloom running home second place. Chris Worrell takes third. James Lowe gets all the way back up to 4th position. And the quiet man, Ruben Altice, after falling back early, comes back for a top 5. Well, I would say, looking back at that, Kenny, that was a textbook 5 flags race.
Yeah, that's about what I expected. And man, that was an impressive run by Lewis right here tonight.
Absolutely fantastic. So, as the number 40 parks itself on the front stretch, ready to receive all the plaudits and applause and everything else, we're going to take a quick break, and we're going to come back with the interviews with your top 3.
Oh, now we lost
All
Trey.
right, we are back. We are back after a really, really good night's racing here at Five Flag Speedway in Florida. We are going to grab in our top three, have a little bit of a chat with them, and we're going to start with our winner, Lewis Flowers. So we'll bring him up and see how the race went from his perspective. Take it away, Kenny.
Lewis, this is Kenny. Man, great run tonight. I want to say, I've been trying to push everybody to say you got some Kevin Harvick in you and you're the closer, but tonight you were the starter. Tell me about it.
Yeah, well, I tell you, there's 23 other drivers out there tonight, too, that you got to race, too. So I did a little work Thursday night. You know, I'm thinking I'm just lacking a little bit. So I went to work Thursday night out here on this track trying to figure something out to try to just get a little more speed and tire wear. And I think I hit on something tonight. So I wasn't too fast in practice, but I wasn't worried about that. And I tell you, down there on turn 1 and 2, if you can get that car close to that wall, there is plenty of grip. You can almost gas that thing coming off the corner.
How was the car feeling at the end of the race? Do you feel like you still had some tire left if it got racy, or it was just handling how you needed it to pull away?
Yeah, it was still handling. I had 70% left on the right front, and something like 75 on the right rear. So it was just a matter of just kind of managing the throttle a little bit and getting that grip down there 1 and 2. That saves a lot of tires too.
Now, I'm slacking on my research here. Lewis, this is your first BRL win tonight?
Yes, sir. That's my first BRL win.
I'll tell you what, for a first win, that was impressive. Anybody you want to thank tonight?
Well, thank Bootleg Racing League for giving us a place to come out and have fun on Friday, Saturday night. Thank you, and Ed, I guess, for doing the broadcast tonight, and BGN for broadcasting it, and you know, thanks for such a pretty good race tonight. Everybody kind of raced pretty decent.
Lewis, that was an impressive run tonight. Congratulations. Good luck next week. We'll see you.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny. I appreciate it, and I'll be out tomorrow night, so we'll see what happens then.
Awesome.
All right, so we will proceed straight to our second place finisher here, Trey Bloom. Trey, really good run from you, mate. Started up front, ran up front all night, had a couple of nibbles at the lead there as well. How did that race play out from your point of view?
Yeah, I played all right. I was trying to, I don't know, I guess with the super lights, I'm still trying to figure out how to pass people. You know, they just feel so slippery, and by the time you heat those tires up trying to be aggressive, you're not going to be good late in the race. So I thought I could make some moves there, and when I couldn't, I just kind of backed out and tried to make another run. But Logan was doing really good holding his spot and keeping that first spot for a while. And yeah, I was just trying to maintain my tires for that race because they were heating up quick. It was a hot track.
Yeah, we noticed sort of early on in the race as well. Like obviously, you know, Luke was sort of holding that slightly higher line through 1 and 2, whereas you were sort of tucking right down at both ends of the track. What was the feeling behind that? Were you just trying to keep some clean air on the nose, or did you feel that was the more preferred line for yourself?
Yeah, for myself, I like to get it to roll, especially, well, the super late's a little risky, but I like to try to grab that apron at this track especially. But yeah, I didn't feel like that was probably the move in the super late with all that power. But I generally like to try to roll that corner a little bit, just drag the brake and try to get it to rotate.
Okay, well, fantastic run anyway. Started right up the front, ran up the front all night, and comes home in P2. Any shout-outs before we let you go?
Yeah, I always got to shout out you guys in the booth, and Ryan in the background, and Lowell for the Bootleg League. And thanks. Yeah, I love coming here every Friday and Saturday night.
Absolutely love having you. There we are. P2 tonight. The number 32, the caveman, Trey Bloom. Okay, so bring us on to our final podium position now. It is the 06 of Chris Worrell. Take it away, Kenny.
Chris, good run tonight. Podium. You come into points leader. You have a good night. I want to go back to the first third of the race. You were kind of just falling back. Did you come into the race thinking, hey, I have a pace I want to run. I don't care what everyone else is going to do?
Yeah, last season at this race, I blew a right front tire while being in the front, and it cost me big time. So I just tried to let the guys that seemed like they wanted to push a little harder, let them by, and just fall into my own my own little pace, and started coming back in front of the guys, and that was doing well. But the cautions came out. I just didn't have enough laps to make it work. It's a tough track for sure.
With that tire trouble last year, were you just thinking at one point? Did you just think it's not about winning; it's just about finishing and keeping a good points night?
Yes, for sure. Starting in the back, as hard as it was last year, I really thought, I probably could have pushed it a little bit harder. I still had some tires there at the end, but last year, I think it was lap 50, 60 before my right front blew, so I just didn't want that to happen again. And I just wanted to come out with a decent finish, mainly. So I got that. Yeah. I would like to give an apology to Adam Schoen there. I got into him a little bit, and so I kind of jerked the wheel into the wall, and that's all my fault. I didn't mean to get into him there, so I apologize to him if he's listening. But
yeah, it's always tough to get 5 flags with those deals on corner exit. Think about your points run here. Are you starting to now think, 3 races in, 2 wins, a top 5? Are you start thinking points every week, or are you still just running race to race?
At this point, race to race. I got lucky with the 2 wins. They were great races. Finished good, tonight. But there's guys like Ed himself who is really good at managing his tires and can come from the very back to the very front within a whole race. So I've been trying to kind of take that approach towards it instead of like last season where I just wanted to figure out the car, drive as hard as I could, just kind of take all sorts of approaches last season, different races. This race, I kind of just want to fall into my own pace and try to be there at the end. So like I said, Ed's really good at that. There's a lot of guys. James is obviously really good at that. Ruben, more I can mention, but just with the little points lead I've got right now, just hoping I can just finish up front, for the end of the season.
Wow.
For the remainder of the season, excuse me.
That's good. It was a great run tonight. Anybody you want to thank before we get out of here?
BRL. Everybody that joins every night. It's a lot of good guys in here. Buddy James, his aunt, for pulling for us and watching everybody every weekend. It's awesome. She gets up here and watches us every Friday and Saturday. So hello to you. Hope you're doing good, Aunt Mary. You, Kenny, Ed, Ryan, for putting on the broadcast. I'm sure it'll be good. And look forward to tomorrow night.
Yep. And again, great run tonight. That's Chris Burrell, our 3rd place finisher.
All right, so that just about wraps us up. Been a fantastic night's worth of racing here at Five Flags Speedway, as we always get in the Bushtalk Radio Super Late Model Series. Any final thoughts before we wrap it up, Kenny?
That was a great race. I really enjoyed it. Can't wait for next week.
Yeah. Well, a pair of us are going to be back next week, so I hope you enjoyed it because you're getting a double dose of us. So we'll see you back for the next one next week. Looking forward, of course, we've got tomorrow night is going to be Five Flag Speedway again. We're back here at Five Flag Speedway in the Late Model Stock Invitational here with BRL. And then we move on to Sunday, April 19th, Talladega Super Speedway in the Yesteryear Gen 4 Cup Series. And moving on to Monday, we've got a full week worth of broadcasts here. You are sorted out any night of the week you want to watch some great sim racing. We got the Scrambler Series at Worldwide Technology Raceway, and that's happening on Monday night. Then we move on to Tuesday night. The Yesteryear Racing Modified Series is going to be on at Lanier National Speedway. And then the ISRA for a little bit of high-speed IndyCar action. They're going to be at Kentucky Wednesday night, then Thursday night. Skidder Creek Modified Series with Red Light Racing. That's going to be at Southern National Speedway. And then this series, the Bushtalk Radio Super Late Models, we're back, but we're going to be back at Myrtle Beach. And we're going to be calling that one for you live 1 week from now. So join us for all of those because they are going to be fantastic races all the way through the week. VGN has you covered whatever night of the week you want to be watching some awesome sim racing. So from all of us here, from Ryan Seneca, from Lowell, from Kenny Allen as well, thanks very much for watching. It has been an absolute pleasure calling this one, and we will see you again very, very soon.